everybody, welcome back to another First and 10 video. Today's topic is going to be about the Bears and the Ravens in their first preseason game of the season, also most notably the Hall of Fame game. Now, I know the Ravens and the Bears both have two legendary defenders getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, with Brian Urlacher and Ray Lewis, but this year and with this Hall of Fame game, we're really going to be paying attention to their offenses more than anything else. This year we have Joe Flacco, who's supposed for the Ravens side. Joe Flacco is stating that he's healthy, fully recovered from concussions and back injuries from last year, and along with the newly revamped wide receiver core, it's really Joe Flacco's season to excel, and he really has the pressure to do so with the drafting of first-round quarterback Lamar Jackson. I know a lot of fans are really interested in seeing how well Lamar Jackson plays and whether he could potentially start this season. And that's entirely dependent on Joe Flacco. He even said so himself. He plans to quiet down the talk of Lamar Jackson starting by playing well this season. And the beginning of that starts in this first preseason game, and see how smoothly that first drive goes. Now, he has a lot of new weapons with Michael Crabtree, Willie Snead, and John Brown all getting signed in the free agency. Crabtree is really that good red zone threat. The Ravens didn't really have a good red zone percentage last year, and that was because they lacked a red zone target. Another issue with the Ravens last year was first downs. There was no consistent receiver that got open on first downs. That's why they went and got Willie Snead, and then having that deep threat in John Brown. Now, I know John Brown has had some injury issues the last couple of seasons, and they're really hoping he pushes past that and can have another explosive season like he did his rookie, and then again kind of like his sophomore year with the Cardinals. Another big thing are the draftees that the Ravens picked up with the two tight ends, Hayden Hurst and Mark Andrews. I'm not certain about Mark Andrews starting just yet, but Hayden Hurst is pretty much penciled in to be the starting tight end due to his age, him being 25, and just the necessity that goal that he fills in. He's pretty much going to be that go-to receiver for Joe Flacco if everything else unfolds. Now, as I said before, a lot of people really do want to see how Lamar Jackson plays, and I'm excited to see how well he performs as well. So we'll really see how well he performs against the Bears' backups at C, or even the third stringers, depending on where he plays, since the Ravens also have Robert Griffin Jr. or Robert Griffin III on their team. For the Bears on their side, this is really our first look at Matt Nagy's offense with the Bears. I know he said he's excited to incorporate some new elements with Mitch Trubisky this year, saying that last year's offense was kind of like a baby offense for Mitch Trubisky. They didn't really let him step out of and really kind of show off what he can do last year. They really limited what his options were. So part of that was due to who they had on offense and the fact that that Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen were such a dynamic duo in terms of running backs. But I think this year they're going to unleash them a little bit more to alleviate some of that pressure off of Howard and Cohen and let them really get some rest and also be explosive when the time comes for them to get the ball in their hands. They did pick up some new free agency receivers, namely Allen Robinson, who's coming off of ACL surgery from last year. He has the potential to be a 1,000-yard receiver. The question is, how will his body hold up with that ACL surgery? These days, the ACL isn't as big of an issue as it was like 10, even 5 years ago, but it's still, a question of concern. Will it knock off some of his speed? Will it take away some of his agility and mobility and his route running ability? We'll see. I don't see him having any ill effects. He should be ready to go, but, every player is different. They also picked up Trey Burton from the Eagles, who they're really expecting to fill in kind of like a Travis Kelce-like role, with Matt Nagy having how he used Kelce in the Chiefs' offense, and he is probably going to use Burton in a similar pass-catching tight end manner. Now, also, I'm not sure if it's the biggest question for Bears fans, but I know for me personally, I want to see how well White performs. This is kind of a make or break year for him. He has so far been a complete draft bust for being drafted, I think, 10th overall in his year's draft. He's, had numerous amount of injuries, and, he hasn't really performed that well when he's been on the field. So the question is, can he reverse that narrative? Same thing with Ravens first round draft pick Rashad Perriman. Both of them have severely underperformed their draft slots and have really not come through in the manner that either team expected them to. Now, defensively for the Ravens, they're doing something a little bit different this year. D&P is kind of retired, not really retired, since he retired to leave the Ravens and then came out of retirement to become the DC for the Titans. That's a whole nother weird story that I'm not really going to get into. But in either case, the Ravens ended up promoting their linebackers coach, Wink Martindale, up into the position of the DC. A lot of the players already loved him, especially the linebacker core, and they're really liking his new take on the defense. He didn't change a whole lot in terms of schematics, but he did ramp up the aggressiveness, and he is allowing the players to make the calls on the field and make changes as necessary depending on what they see. He's really putting a lot of trust into his veterans like C.J. Mosley, Eric Weddle, and Terrell Suggs to really call out, offensive formations and really kind of get the team or the defense in gear to face with the opposition. I like it. It puts more emphasis on the players. It lets them be who they are. The Ravens have had a legacy of being an aggressive defense back in the days of Ryan being our defensive coordinator, and that really kind of went down when Dean Pease was our defensive coordinator. Not to say that he's a bad coordinator, but the aggressiveness was severely brought down, and the Ravens became more of a bend but don't break type of offense or defense rather than just destroying the offense outright. On the Bears side of the defense, the question is how well can Roquan Smith adapt into the NFL lifestyle. He was a tremendous player at Georgia during his college years, but obviously joining the NFL is a whole new ball game, and he has yet to sign up to show up for training camp because they're still going through his rookie contract disputes and going over the language of the contract and whatnot. So now he's on a limited time frame, and how well and how quickly can he adapt to an NFL defensive scheme? Now, granted, his talent is, far and away amazing. He's a sideline-to-sideline tackler. He can cover. He can blitz. He can go after the run. He's a great all-around linebacker. The question, again, is how well does he pick up the defensive schemes? Another thing I really am looking forward to seeing with the Bears defense is how well Fuller and Eddie Jackson kind of improved from last year. I think they both had 2 interceptions apiece between them, and they were pretty good in coverage last year. Now the question is, can they build on that, or will it be, this is last year kind of like what we should expect to see from them? I think they should improve, but seeing how they perform in this first drive and how everything culminates will really not necessarily be like an indicator for how the season's going to go, but it does give us a start. It does give us, some film to look at and some tape to look at to see, what can we expect, what future things can we expect for this season. I hope you guys like this video. If you have any questions, make sure to comment below. Make sure you share, subscribe, and hit that notifications button. I'll see you in the future. See you guys.